the 7th year of my secret crush on my childhood friend. Encouraged by my best friend, I boarded an overnight train with flowers and a cake to confess. Yet at the roaring basketball court, I witnessed them kissing. Ethan had Olivia pinned against the railings. Their lips locked as the crowd cheered. My arms went numb, the bouquet slipping through my fingers. Olivia's text still glowed on my phone. Ethan's at the court. Come confess now. Dark clouds gathered overhead as I turned to flee, the cake box crushing against my chest. Emma. Wait. Olivia's tearful voice chased me. This isn't what it looks like. Ethan kept firm hold of her hand even as she reached for me. Who invited you here? His cold glare cut deeper than the autumn wind. Can't you see I'm occupied? The 3 years of letters I'd mailed him. The birthday gifts Olivia helped me pick out. Everything curdled in my stomach. I'd barely taken 2 steps when a familiar drawl cut through the tension. I asked her to come. Lucas leaned against the bleachers, his varsity jacket hanging carelessly off one shoulder. Recognition flickered in his eyes, the same detached amusement I remembered from our high school graduation when I'd face planted while handing him the valedictorian trophy. Wrong recipient for your cake, Emma. He beckoned with flour-dusted fingers. Kitchen's this way. Behind me. Olivia's choked sob tangled with Ethan's low reassurance. But Lucas didn't so much as glance at the couple still entangled by the court. His attention stayed fixed on me, the ghost of a smirk playing on his lips as drizzle began dotting his faded concert tee. The last time we'd stood this close, I'd taken out an entire trophy display. This time, I wasn't sure which humiliation burned worse, catching my crush with my best friend, or being rescued by the guy who'd witnessed every awkward stumble since puberty. Ethan frowned in irritation. Lucas. Don't bother with her. Let her go back where she came from. The moment he finished speaking, Lucas chuckled lightly. Did you misunderstand something? My girlfriend brought a cake. What's it to you? Because of those words. That evening, I attended Ethan's birthday party as Lucas's girlfriend. The atmosphere grew tense. Olivia kept glancing at me, so distracted she barely touched her food. Why stare at her? Ethan snapped. His brows furrowed. Eat more. Don't worry, nobody's bullying you here. My long-suppressed emotions finally erupted. I locked eyes with Ethan. Explain. What exactly have I done to bully her? Ethan glared silently. I turned to Olivia. Are you scared of me? Did you do something to hurt me? Olivia shook her head. No. Lucas handed me a glass of watermelon juice. His tone casual. If she's this fragile, maybe don't parade her around. He grabbed a handful of pistachios and added, peel them gently. Wouldn't want to give anyone a heart attack. A few people nearby snorted with laughter. Olivia flushed and fled to the restroom, exhausted by the party's second half. I decided to leave early, seizing the moment when Lucas stepped out to take a call. I followed him into the hallway. I wanted to thank him. He'd rescued me during my most humiliating moment after I'd traveled all this way. The dim corridor echoed with Lucas's lowered voice as he spoke on the phone. Only then did I realize he'd postponed student council duties. He was their president, to attend tonight. I lingered a few steps away, waiting. Lucas spotted me and ended the call abruptly. I'll call you back. Turning to me, he asked, what's wrong? Thank you. For tonight. Lucas leaned against the windowsill, studying me silently. Just as I began checking for smudges on my face, he asked, want to go to the amusement park tomorrow? With me? With you? He raised an eyebrow. Didn't you post about wanting to go? Can't let the trip go to waste. The night breeze ruffled his messy black hair, his white shirt fluttering. His relaxed posture somehow undid my composure. I wiped my eyes hastily. Thanks. I'll treat you to dinner tomorrow. A long pause followed. When I braced for mockery about crying, he drawled, sure thing, girlfriend. Lucas left early for student council business. Exiting the restroom later, I found Olivia waiting. Her lips bore teeth marks, tears streaming down her face. "I'm sorry, Emma," she choked out. "I never meant for things to turn out like this. Please forgive me. I just feel sick." I shook off her hand and pulled out my phone. "How much was the hotel?" "I'll transfer you the money." Olivia froze. "Emma, I'm sorry. I forgot to book your room." Her voice sounded muffled, like hearing someone speak through water. For a moment I thought I'd misheard. Was this really the best friend I'd trusted with everything? She'd insisted on handling the hotel reservations herself earlier, telling me to just buy my train ticket. Now this? "Olivia, you did this on purpose, didn't you?" She bit her lip. "I'm sorry." The campus area hotels were fully booked, and Ethan kept pestering me nonstop. "You can stay in my dorm tonight?" I turned to leave without answering. Olivia suddenly grabbed my arm. "Emma, I forgot to tell you earlier. Lucas already likes someone. When he helped you earlier, it was just pity. Don't get the wrong idea. I don't want you hurt again." Her fake innocent act made my skin crawl. I jerked my arm free. Olivia stumbled dramatically, collapsing to the ground with a practiced whimper. "Since when did you become Lucas' personal mind reader?" I scoffed. Olivia stayed silent, but her breathing grew strangely labored. Ethan materialized from nowhere, shoving me aside to cradle her. "You put mango in the cake?" he snarled. I stared coldly as he exploded. "You knew she's deathly allergic. Are you trying to kill her?" That's when I noticed Olivia's purpling lips. Oh, I knew about her allergy all right. The mango had been her idea. Ethan loves mango desserts. She'd insisted while planning this trip. At 1 a.m., the ER doctor glared at us. Who eats their allergen for fun? Suicide attempt? Ethan wheeled on me. Happy now that Liv's fighting for her life? I took a steadying breath. Ethan, are you actually brainless? Olivia chose to eat that cake. His gaze turned arctic. Cut the act. Emma, we both know why you really came. Can't stand seeing us together? Had to sabotage her? Looking at this delusional fool, clarity hit me like ice water. I'd been so stupid all those after-school tutoring sessions. His jokes about me needing him. I'd mistaken basic decency for affection. Exhaustion clawed at me after 36 sleepless hours. My vision blurred as I dialed 911. Ethan smashed my phone against the wall. Enough dramatics. I slowly gathered the shattered pieces, then hurled them at his face. 7 years of pining doesn't mean I'll grovel. Doctor, call the police. Black spots swarmed my vision as I collapsed backward. Strong arms caught me, the crisp scent of soap and mint cutting through the chaos. A cool, clear voice came from above. She didn't eat much dinner. Might be low blood sugar. Doctor should check her. Through the haze, I heard dial tones. Lucas's detached voice floated through the air. Hello. I need to report an incident. After the doctor fed me glucose, my head cleared. Lucas had finished his call, his gaze frosty as it settled on Olivia. Olivia shrunk into Ethan's arms like a guilty child. I only tried a tiny bite. The cake was just sitting there for anyone. Lucas stated flatly. The doctor says otherwise. Let's review security footage with the police present. I remembered how Olivia used to freeze around cops in high school, once literally walking sideways past a patrol car. Now she stood paralyzed as officers arrived. I gave my full account, watching the color drain from Olivia's face when the officer pointed at surveillance stills. 3 slices? With visible mango filling when you're allergic? Trembling apologies spilled out. I'm sorry, just couldn't resist. Ethan's stern demeanor from earlier evaporated. We'll work on the impulse control, he soothed. arm tightening around her shoulders, a stark contrast to his earlier rage at me. As Olivia turned tearful eyes toward Ethan, I tapped Lucas's phone and thrust the payment QR code forward. Your girlfriend ate my cake. Your phone-breaking tantrum? Settle the bill properly. Lucas blinked, then nodded. Witness confirmation, definite property damage here. Ethan's jaw tightened. Emma. Really? After everything? But under police supervision. The transfer cleared instantly. His expression darkened again, watching Lucas steady me as we left. The night air carried lilac scent through corroded iron fences as I walked faster. Then faster still. Rounding the corner, I collapsed against peeling stucco, face buried in knees. Streetlight halos barely illuminated the sidewalk, one hunched shadow, one leaning against the lamp post. Go ahead, Lucas said, hands in pockets. Tears stayed between us. The dam broke. Sobs echoed through fragrant blossoms, carrying 8 years of unspoken words into the empty streets. I'd prepared for rejection. Just never imagined the knife would come from the friend who once hid behind me during fire drills. On the drive over, Olivia and I chatted animatedly about everything from foodie hotspots to Instagram-worthy attractions, even joking about which bar we'd hit up for consolation drinks if our confessions went sideways. But after enduring Ethan's public humiliation and Olivia's betrayal today, I was emotionally spent. Lucas leaned against the wall behind me at just the right angle to avoid direct eye contact, giving me space to wipe my tear-streaked face unnoticed. I sat crumpled on the curb for what felt like hours before finally standing with puffy eyes. Thanks for today. Lucas kept his gaze fixed on his phone, humming a non-committal acknowledgement. Sunrise is in 3 hours. Get some sleep. We'll reschedule the amusement park for Sunday? His voice held that practiced casualness perfected by private school boys. When a patrol car pulled up beside us, the officer rolled down his window with a familiar nod. Lucas! This your friend needing a place to crash? Her hotel reservation got messed up. Aunt Chen said she could use the guest room. Lucas finally met my confused stare. My uncle's giving you a ride to the police housing complex. Safer that way. I opened my mouth to protest but realized I'd exhausted my thank yous hours ago. Sunday, dinner's on me? That's the 3rd time you've offered tonight. His laugh lines crinkled as he opened the squad car door. Get some rest, Emma. The door clicked shut before I could respond, his silhouette dissolving into the retreating cityscape. The next afternoon, sunlight stabbed through the blinds of Mrs. Davis's spare bedroom. Lucas' text glowed on my screen, let me know when you're up. I bolted upright, nearly tripping over last night's jeans. Our rescheduled amusement park date and my promised thank you dinner started in 40 minutes. I found Lucas sprawled on an oak bench near the carousel, his long legs stretched out casually in front of him. Sunlight dappled through the sycamores, gilding his tousled hair as he adjusted a baseball cap onto my head. Right on time. He grinned, fingers intertwining with mine, every muscle tensed. Don't look, he murmured, breath warm against my ear. Ethan's crew at 2 o'clock. Sure enough. Olivia's saccharine giggle carried over the popcorn stand. Emma! We called your name earlier. Her gaze lingered on our joined hands. Ethan's jaw tightened before he turned to Lucas with that frat boy smirk. Haunted mansion? Let's make it a double date. The temperature dropped 20 degrees when Olivia clung to Ethan in the ticket line. I thought you hated scary stuff. I blurted. People change. Her coral nails dug into Ethan's forearm as the ride attendant ushered us into the pitch-black corridor. Cold mist swirled around the fake cobwebs as Olivia's shrill scream echoed behind us. Lucas' thumb brushed my pulse point. Still think this was a bad idea? Before I could answer, a chainsaw-wielding zombie lunged from the shadows. We crashed into a foam wall, his laughter vibrating against my shoulder. Definitely better than dinner. The emergency exit light revealed our tangled limbs and his crooked smile. Somewhere in the darkness, Olivia shrieked again. Lucas looked at me, I said. I don't mind. Naturally. Lucas didn't either. So the four of us were assigned to the same pathway. As we entered the corridor, the lighting dimmed. Liv shrank into Ethan's arms, whimpering, "Ethan, I'm scared." Truthfully, I was terrified too, but too self-conscious to press closer to Lucas. I settled for clutching his hand tightly as we hurried forward. Feeling the dampness in my palm, Lucas squeezed back reassuringly. "Slow down. We'll get through this." I nodded, yet the chill creeping up my spine made me quicken my pace. A sudden scream from Liv around the corner made me jump. Lucas yanked me backward into his embrace, his warm body shielding me from the cold draft. Shoo! His breath grazed my ear, lips accidentally brushing my earlobe. "The ghost's over there. You nearly walked into it." Liv was now openly sobbing, abandoning all pretense. I locked my arms around Lucas' waist, whispering urgently, "Don't let it come near us. Please. Don't let it come." I felt his chest vibrate with suppressed laughter. "All right." As dragging chain sounds approached from behind, Lucas pressed my face against his sweater, addressing the NPC with casual charm, "Come on, man. Cut us some slack? My girlfriend's not great with this stuff." The actor growled in mock frustration before clanking away dramatically. Long after the NPC left, we remained entangled. Our synchronized heartbeat mingled with his warm, uneven breathing. Only then did I realize how intimate this position was. "Can you walk?" Lucas murmured, his lips nearly touching my temple. My face burned as I tried to pull away. "Sorry. He intercepted my retreat, fingers intertwining with mine. "Nothing to apologize for." The word settled softly in my chest. His palm felt suddenly scorching against my skin. When I glanced up, Ethan was watching us with unreadable eyes before turning away. The rest of our escape involved more of Liv's screams than actual supernatural threats. Lucas guided me through the haunted house with protective efficiency. Later in the restroom, I was cleaning grime off my arm when Liv cornered me. "Emma, why have you been ignoring me?" Under the fluorescent lights, I noticed her Instagram-ready outfit, the floral sundress she'd clearly chosen for photo ops. She pouted dramatically. "Did you ever really consider me a friend? I thought you'd be happy for us." The barb hit its mark. I turned with icy calm. "Liv, where's your common sense?" Her face flushed. "I know you had a crush on Ethan, but you didn't get into our college. Watching him for you every day, feelings just happened. Why did you push me to confess then?" "Because I couldn't hold back my feelings anymore. I never planned to be with him. He was the one who suddenly kissed me. You know I can't say no." "Enough." I cut off Olivia's words. "You play the innocent victim. Too cowardly to reject confessions. Too weak to admit your mistakes. Yet I'm the one left dealing with the fallout. How dare you expect me to still call you a friend?" Olivia stared at me with tear-reddened eyes. Silent. Ethan's voice drifted in from outside. "Liv, you done here?" Olivia wiped her cheeks. "This is all my fault. I've wronged everyone. I'll break up with him. Okay?" She shoved past me and sprinted away without looking back. Ethan only caught the tail end. He grabbed my arm painfully tight. "What did you say to Liv?" "Nothing. We're just not friends anymore." He barked a humorless laugh. "Emma, are you 12? Using friendship as leverage to force her to dump me?" I didn't hold a knife to her throat. "If she wants to leave, maybe you're just not worth keeping. Not my problem." Ethan's grip turned vice-like as he dragged me toward the exit. "You're not staying until we find her. Are you insane? I paid for this ticket. Try kicking me out and I'll call the cops." "Who do you think you are?" His voice dropped to ice. "You wreck my relationship. Chase off my girlfriend. And I can't even ask you to leave?" He yanked me toward the carousel, pointing at a figure in the distance. See that? That's Lucas' actual girlfriend. Sunlight dappled Lucas' hair as a girl in a JK skirt hopped off the spinning horses. She giggled, snatching the Coke he'd bought me. Lucas shook his head, exasperated but fond. Ethan shoved his phone in my face, displaying his texts with Lucas. Ethan, bro. Stuck with Liv. Take care of Emma tonight. She's got nowhere to stay. Lucas, okay. Still think he's into you? Ethan sneered. You're just a chore we're all tired of babysitting. I've never been bold in love, 7 years of pining taught me that. But I wouldn't cower this time. Ignoring Ethan's glare, I marched toward Lucas. He noticed me instantly. The girl beside him was mid-sentence when Lucas palmed her head, tucking her behind his back like a secret. Who's she? My voice trembled. Before Lucas could answer, the girl popped out like a meerkat. Hi. I'm Lucas' sister. You must be my future sis-in-law. My rehearsed speech evaporated. Real, sister? Lucas wordlessly shoved her toward the cotton candy stand. Weren't your friends waiting? Scram. The girl skipped off. Then you turned dramatically. You're Emma, right? My brother's obsessed. He still has your yearbook note from graduation where you, MMPH. Lucas clamped a hand over her mouth, ears burning crimson. The carousel music swelled as his mortified gaze met mine. Confession hanging unspoken in the sugary air. Shut up and get lost. She was thrown 2 meters away but still shouted sister-in-law at me. Lucas and I froze awkwardly in place as the carousel began spinning again. Laughter and chatter filled the air around us. I felt Lucas's gaze settle on my face. His tone remained detached. She's shameless. Don't take her words to heart. Staring at my toes, I mumbled agreement. But my drink. I'll buy you a new one. About the yearbook, Lucas cleared his throat, unexpectedly taking my hand with measured coolness. Yes. The yearbook matter. Lucas's yearbook remained vivid in my memory. During graduation season, our monitor had suddenly walked in clutching grid-patterned papers. For Lucas. Everyone can write graduation messages when you have time. Strange for someone so aloof to want this. He'd added. But he prepared gifts, collect them from me after writing. Back then, Lucas and I were barely acquaintances. Following the monitor's instructions, I'd written happy graduation, boundless future with my signature at the bottom. The gift turned out to be my favorite keychain at the time. Remembering this, I smiled. Yearbooks are for kids. Why did we use them in high school when smartphones were everywhere? The breeze rippled through roadside lavender, carrying Lucas's words into the fragrant air. For your signature. What? I leaned closer, catching his quiet laughter that soon melted into my own. The sinking sun painted Central Square with crowds settling in for the promised fireworks display. I dragged Lucas to prime viewing spot. Both of us sitting cross-legged on the pavement. Twilight deepened into indigo. Fireflies emerging as cicadas thrummed through the humid summer night. When Olivia's call came, her tearful voice pleaded, "Can you forgive me? Emma, I'll never get back with Ethan until you say yes. Please?" Compared to my initial fury over my best friend's betrayal, I now felt unsettling calm. Are you guilt-tripping me? If I refuse, I become the villain keeping you from love? That's your logic? Only muffled sobs answered. She truly believed this. Exhaustion crept into my chuckle. Liv. It's just some guy. Keep him if you want. But the lies? The games? That I can't forgive. Understand? Hanging up. Lucas handed me a peeled orange. Starting. Music swelled as fireworks exploded over the twilight castle, painting the ancient stonework with chrysanthemums of light. Dazzling. This 7-year-long, bittersweet crush that consumed my entire youth finally came to an end tonight. I turned to find Lucas looking down at me, a leaf clinging to his forehead. The crowd roared around us. Music pounding through the air. If I spoke now, he'd never hear me. Instead, I pointed to my own forehead. Lucas blinked in confusion as the final notes of the song erupted into fireworks. Brilliant explosions lit up the night sky. Boom! Amidst the shimmering sparks, Lucas pressed his lips to my forehead. An electric tingle radiated from that spot, paralyzing me completely. When the park lights flickered back on and carousel music resumed, the audience began dispersing. Only Lucas and I remained frozen in place. Is Ethan? I started, avoiding his intense gaze. He's not here, Lucas murmured, amusement coloring his voice. My heart stuttered. Then why did you? Does his absence invalidate this? His thumb brushed where he'd kissed as fireworks reflected in his eyes. That was my first kiss. Emma. Later, while Lucas stood in the ice cream line, I fidgeted on the bench searching relationship forums for guidance. My limited experience with boys consisted of accidental knee brushes with Ethan during study sessions. Nothing prepared me for tonight's developments. A shadow fell across my phone screen. You're actually dating him? Ethan's voice held that dangerous calm I knew too well. What's it to you? My parents will hold me responsible if anything happens to you. When I stayed silent, he softened. Emma, stop this rebellion. Not every guy's worth your time. Go home. I met his glare evenly. Lucas isn't every guy. Something dark flashed in Ethan's eyes. After 7 years of this, he gestured between us. You switch targets overnight? Switch targets. I stood abruptly. You think I should have kept pining while you played house with Olivia? Slink away like some pathetic loser? Ethan's jaw tightened. If you transfer here for grad school, we could. I laughed bitterly. He knew my architecture career demanded northern opportunities. What about Olivia? Your precious Liv? You tell me. His gaze turned challenging. If I wanted her, would I wait until you showed up? The ice cream line shifted. Lucas turned, catching my eye with that heart-stopping smile. Ethan followed my gaze, his offer hanging lifeless between us. I raised my hand and slapped him clean across the face. Ethan staggered back, clutching his cheek. Emma, you smack! Another slap landed. As I raised my palm for the third strike, Olivia materialized from nowhere, shielding Ethan with trembling shoulders. Emma, have you had enough? Her voice quivered. He's my boyfriend now. What right do you have to hit him? Observing the pair, bitter laughter bubbled in my throat. Olivia had clearly overheard our earlier conversation. She knew half those slaps were meant for her sake. Yet she chose to defend him. Liv, I said, using her childhood nickname for the first time in years. I always wondered what kind of man could come between us. Now I see, you two truly deserve each other. My palm met her cheek with finality. Guard your prize well. Never let go. Exiting the amusement park gates, I suddenly remembered I'd left Lucas inside. My call connected to summer night silence punctuated by cicadas. Sorry. I mumbled. Got distracted. Lucas chuckled. Saw the whole show. Those slaps looked cathartic. Perching on a sidewalk planter, I kicked at pebbles. Lucas. I'm returning to Beijing. My major, I trailed off. Ethan wasn't wrong. Long-distance relationships crumble easily. Especially when we weren't even officially dating. Emma. Look up. He stood under a street lamp across the road. Ice cream cone in hand. Smile illuminated like fireflies. My pulse stuttered then raced, thump thump thump, as his voice carried through both phone speakers and warm night air. I like you. Next year, I'll test into Beijing University. So don't worry. Sweetness, faint yet persistent, spread through my chest. Lucas grinned, licking melting drips. Meant to wait longer. But seems I can't. Heat flooded my cheeks. I'm not forcing. Voluntary relocation. His fingers intertwined with mine as we detoured around crowded gates. We talked until moonrise, career paths, grad school plans. Everything except goodbye. Outside his aunt's apartment, I finally said it. Lucas. Don't make life choices because of me. The barbershop spinning pole cast dizzying colors across his nod. Wouldn't dream of it. The next morning, I boarded the flight north. The chaos of preparing for grad school entrance exams consumed my days. Before I knew it, Mid-Autumn Festival arrived. Lucas was swamped with his own graduate applications, leaving no time to visit home. Stuck in Beijing with my hectic schedule, our paths never crossed. Just when I thought we wouldn't meet, his call came at dusk. I'm at the airport. Which one? My heart skipped. Beijing's. The recent rains had given way to oppressive heat that did nothing to calm my racing pulse. I grabbed my jacket. I'll come get you. Stay put. Lucas insisted. Wait for me at campus. My roommates, having heard endless stories about him, demanded to witness this reunion. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Lucas emerged from the crowd clutching flowers. My friends scrutinizing his every move under the amber streetlights. Dude's fucking gorgeous. Our dorm leader blurted, loud enough for half the quad to hear. Everyone scram. Let the lovebirds have their makeout time. Lucas chuckled at the proclamation from 20 yards away. Heat flooded my cheeks as I mumbled. Don't mind them. They're always like this. His mouth vibrated against my lips as he pressed the bouquet between us. His mouth claiming mine in full view of passing professors and classmates. My face burned nuclear red. Missed you, he murmured against my hair when we finally broke apart. I stood statue still, peonies trembling in my grip. Me too. The dorm leader materialized like a mischievous sprite. We cleared the whole damn courtyard and that's all you got? Do you even know who you're dating? Straight a queen. Campus sweetheart. Her fan club stretches to Antarctica, ask anyone here. As if on cue, students grabbing takeout or packages began catcalling. A group of underclassmen shouted, "We love you too. Emma!" Their faces beat red. Lucas slid an arm around my waist. Sorry kids. I called dibs. She's taken. The crowd dispersed, revealing Ethan lingering by the gates. Smoke curled from his cigarette, a new habit. I noted bitterly. Lucas followed my gaze. Didn't want to ruin your night, he explained. Besides, don't you have that thing later? The event ended earlier than expected. By 8, I found myself outside Lucas' hotel. Before I could knock, iron fingers clamped my wrist. Ethan reeked of bourbon and desperation. Running to his bed already? His sneer carried across the lobby. What would mommy and daddy say? About what exactly? Fucking some guy you just met. Spittle flew from his lips. That's not desperate? Every head in the hotel turned our way. Emma still refused to back down. Unlike me who knew his true colors. Emma. Being with him over me? You should. I kicked him hard in the shin. The sickening thud made Ethan double over. Shoving my phone with my parents' contact pulled up in his face. I hissed, call them. Tell them I want to sleep with my boyfriend but you're insisting I should be with you instead. For good measure. I dialed his parents on speakerphone. Let's inform your folks too. They should know their son's trying to home-wreck relationships. Ethan's face turned ashen. Breathing heavily but silent. Months of pent-up rage erupted as I grabbed his hair. Make the call. Don't make me despise you more. He stared at the blinking screen but couldn't press dial. Releasing him with a shove. I spat, pathetic. What gave you the idea I'd date Lucas to spite you? Your mediocre bank account? Dime store intellect? Clearly emotional IQ's rock bottom too. The automatic doors slid open silently. Lucas stood there holding a grease-spotted paper bag. The fried dough sent wafting through the lobby. Ethan wiped his face and lunged at him. "You bastard." Lucas sidestepped effortlessly, sending Ethan sprawling. "Brothers?" He chuckled, handing me a bottled water from the convenience bag. "Eat light. More snacks later." Their approaching professor frowned at Ethan, reeking of alcohol. "Evening symposium and you're intoxicated? Disgraceful." We walked 3 blocks before I burst out laughing. "Tripping him? Risky move." Lucas' eyes crinkled. "Won't happen again." "Did Ethan and Olivia break up?" "His decision." I shrugged. The topic dissolved like sugar in tea. Our first real date unfolded without interruptions. Technical delays stretched the movie till midnight. We wandered tree-lined streets holding hands. Fractured streetlights painting our silence. "I'm locked out of the dorm," I murmured outside campus. "I know." Lucas' palm grew damp against mine. "I have my ID." My heartbeat thundered in my ears. He kept staring ahead. "Booked us separate rooms earlier." Heat flooded my cheeks. "Oh, right." We walked stiffly to the hotel, collected keys from the night clerk, and stood awkwardly outside my door. His knuckles brushed mine before retreating to his own room down the hall. "I'm right across the hall if you need anything." After opening the door, I turned to see Lucas still standing in the hallway. "Lucas." Didn't you say I should call if I needed something?" He smiled. "Do you need something now?" I took a step back. "Lucas." His smile faded. Seconds later, he closed the distance, his lips claiming mine with none of the restraint from our brief kiss at the school gate. This was hunger unleashed, a possessive collision that sent us stumbling backward into the apartment. The door slammed shut as darkness draped over us, transforming the kiss into something molten. Our ragged breaths tangled, oxygen burning away until sparks erupted behind my eyelids. Lucas pressed his forehead to mine, voice gravel rough. "Waited years for this." "For what?" "The right to kiss you like I own you." Through his white dress shirt, I felt his heartbeat thrashing against my palm, wild, erratic drum beats matching my own. When I opened my mouth to speak, he hushed me, arms tightening. "Just let me hold you. 5 minutes. Then I'll go." I wound my arms around his neck, burying my face in the warmth of his chest. "Lucas, what happens next?" He inhaled sharply. "You're really asking that now? Think I'm made of stone?" Feeling me tense, he chuckled darkly before flicking on the entryway light. "Get some sleep." "I'm leaving." This time, I didn't dare call him back. The phone's shrill ring tore through my morning haze. A venomous female voice snapped. "Emma, got any shame left? What did Olivia ever do to deserve you stealing her man?" Sleep fogged. I barely registered Olivia's muffled sobs before the line went dead. Downstairs, I collided with Ethan and Olivia in the breakfast lounge. Olivia looked wrecked, tear-stained fingers clutching Ethan's sleeve. Clearly she'd raced here overnight. "You promised we'd work this out," she wailed. Ethan scowled. "You dumped me. Remember?" Her face blanked before swiveling toward me. Twin tears tracked down her cheeks as some fiery brunette shoved me hard. "You're the so-called best friend? Olivia's cried over you for weeks. First you guilt-trip her into breaking up with Ethan. Now you're hooking up with him at hotels? I'll make sure everyone knows what trash you are." Olivia bit her lip. "Stop. This isn't." "Don't defend her." The girl shook off Olivia's hand, righteous fury blazing. "I've already posted everything online. Trash like you belongs in the dumpster." I studied this crusader, my own ghost staring back. How many times had I played this role for Olivia years ago? Turns out white knights aren't always noble. Sometimes they're just fools carrying poison. "Scared?" The girl waved her phone. "Should have thought twice before, Olivia." My laugh held zero warmth. "This the fairy tale you sold her?" That I'm the villain stealing princes? Olivia remained as spineless as ever. I'm sorry, Emma. I couldn't stop her. I turned to the girl. Didn't you know Olivia was the one who pushed me to confess? Then she got together with Ethan on the very day I planned to do it. The girl looked unimpressed. You expect me to believe that? Where's your proof? It was true. Olivia preferred voice messages over texts, leaving no chat records as evidence. But there was the bouquet. She helped me order the flowers through a local shop. I still have the florist's contact. The shop owner had sent me screenshots when confused. Your friend wants the card addressed to someone else? You're sure? The messages clearly showed Olivia's instructions for a friend's confession with the note, Ethan, I like you. The girl fell silent. Meanwhile, the online post was gaining traction. Hate comments flooded in, with netizens quickly doxing my university. I stared coldly at Olivia. Without that florist screenshot, this cyberbullying would have destroyed me. Is this true? The girl demanded. Olivia panicked. I just didn't want you to hate me. Typical Olivia, always excuses. The girl turned back to me. Even so, you shouldn't have hooked up with Ethan at that hotel. Netizens interrupted before I could respond. Y'all got the wrong person. Emma was making out with her boyfriend at campus gates yesterday. Honestly, her guy's way hotter than Ethan. Why would she bother? Right on cue, Lucas appeared. Emma? Everything okay? His arm slipped around my shoulders. The girl's eyes widened. Lucas, care to explain why your messy history with Ethan still involves Emma? Lucas's voice turned icy. Hasn't she rejected you multiple times? Ethan paled. Yes. The girl looked lost. But Olivia said you forbade her from dating Ethan. I laughed bitterly. We stopped being friends ages ago. She threatened to dump Ethan unless I stayed friends with her. So this whole mess is her doing? Realization dawned on the girl. What a piece of work! As Lucas and I left, the girl's shouts followed us. Stop the waterworks. Olivia! You think I'm stupid? I took overnight trains for you. Know her? I asked Lucas. Journalism major. He sighed. Hasn't mastered basics but already playing internet vigilante. Squeezing my hand, he added. Let her post the clarification first before reporting to faculty. The girl's dramatic write-up ironically backfired. Netizens sympathized, cut toxic people like Olivia out. Yikes. They all got played. Olivia got summoned by the dean. Her grades plummeting afterward. Ethan lost his dream grad program after drunkenly insulting a professor. The day my parents called, my own acceptance letter arrived, poetic justice served cold. Ethan Brown got into an accident. What happened? He got his foot run over by a car while crossing the street and is undergoing surgery. The doctor says he might end up permanently disabled. It happened so suddenly, right when we were preparing college admission materials. I didn't have the heart to ask for details then. Later, when I talked to my parents, I learned Olivia had pushed Ethan. His parents wanted to sue, but discovered Ethan had thrown the first punch. No legal standing. The rest remains unclear. Their lives stopped being my concern long ago. That afternoon when Lucas landed in Beijing, autumn sunlight stretched lazily across the sky. I scrambled out of the taxi, wind clawing at my carefully styled hair. Lucas leaned against a stone bollard with his black leather suitcase. Long legs casually crossed as he waved. Long time no see, girlfriend. Years after graduation, Lucas and I carved time from our hectic schedules to visit our hometown. Our class monitor insisted on organizing a reunion. That's how I ended up seeing Ethan and Olivia again. I didn't recognize Ethan at first. The man in the sweat-drenched suit limping around the room handing out business cards bore little resemblance to the boy I'd known. Director Chen, where are you working these days? Only when the monitor jokingly used the honorific did realization strike. Just a real estate agency. Ethan mumbled, collar tightening around his flushed neck. Barely making ends meet. Let me know if you need discounts. The room fell quiet. Everyone knew most local agencies had collapsed. When Ethan noticed Lucas and me, he hesitated before asking, "You two settled in Beijing?" I nodded curtly. The monitor eagerly spilled details. Emma and Lucas run their own company there. Been killing it these past years. Ethan's shoulders hunched further, his wine glass emptying faster. Olivia sat absorbed in her phone, vacant-eyed. A classmate intercepted my gaze. "I know you were close, but steer clear. Last person who tried helping her got burned." She lowered her voice. "Last year, Olivia borrowed $200K from friends for some guy who vanished. When her friend got sick, Olivia couldn't repay. Just watched the girl's health deteriorate until her family took her to the provincial hospital. Total train wreck." "How'd you hear this?" "From Ethan." I nodded, swallowing the bitter aftertaste of memory. During the gathering, I slipped out to the courtyard for air. "Emma." The voice froze me mid-step. Ethan materialized from shadows, hands raised placatingly. "Please, just let me say this. I regret everything. If I could redo it, I never should have chosen Olivia. If that day had gone differently. The words tumbled out desperately, as if fearing I'd vanish before his confession ended. I stopped in my tracks and turned to look at Ethan. "Do you really think your life turned out this way just because of one wrong relationship?" I ignored Liv eavesdropping from the corner. "Your academic achievements, life plans, capabilities, intelligence, and vision matter far more than some failed romance. Your misery stems from who you are fundamentally, not what others did to you. Olivia owes you nothing. Stop blaming women for all your problems." A classmate told me these years of Olivia's suffering mostly resulted from Ethan's retaliation. I continued as someone knocked on the window signaling the gathering's end. He couldn't accept his life being ruined by her, so he spread malicious rumors to destroy her reputation, leaving the speechless Ethan behind. I walked out past Olivia, who seemed to want to speak. I strode through the banquet hall without acknowledging her. Under the amber streetlight, Lucas stood holding my bag and coat. Olivia wanted to apologize. "Did you see her?" he asked as I took his arm. "Saw her. Didn't care." I mumbled, my mood somber as we wandered toward our old high school. The dilapidated snack cart still huddled in its corner, plastic tarp fluttering like it had a decade ago when Lucas found me bleeding from scraped knees after tripping with his soccer trophy. That graduation eve, Olivia had waited at these gates clutching 2 grilled chicken wings, her entire week's allowance spent to comfort me. I remembered her anxiously ordering Ethan to buy proper disinfectants, her concern so intense it made him scowl. "Might as well marry each other," he'd grumbled while bandaging my knees. "That was our last meeting before adulthood scattered us." I whispered, tracing the rusted gate. "Why do people change, Lucas?" "Growing up clarifies priorities," he said, night breeze carrying his words. "Maybe she realized you no longer mattered." I helped her for the last time today, I confessed softly. "Final time." He agreed, lacing his fingers through mine as we walked. "When did you figure out what you wanted?" "Always knew." He smiled. "What if I told you I'd secretly loved someone for years? We nearly missed each other." "Doesn't matter." His thumb brushed my knuckles. "I'd have found you anyway." Our shadows merged with the darkness as the old cart's tarp snapped like a farewell flag.